Good Monday, makers, and Happy New Year. Hope everybody's having a good 2023 so far. I'm joined with Dave.
Hey, everybody. Happy New Year.
We're going to start the year off with some builds. I can think of nothing I'd rather do than look at builds to start the new year. If you're in the chat, say hi. We've got a couple people. We've got Patrick and we've got John. Thanks for stopping by. Good to have you guys.
Did I sense a chuckle there? Or are you honestly, that's your favorite thing to do in the new year?
Oh, I can think of nothing better than looking at community builds. That's all I've done really for the last few days because we put together a book. It's almost 300 pages. It's every build that I could find from 2022. And you can download that. There's a link in the description. You just put in your email and you get this book. And like I said, it's almost 300 pages separated by section. And it's a great way to get some inspiration and see some different things that people have done with conduit and stuff. So
Jake has been neck deep in builds.
Yeah.
Just like went deep into everything that you guys have shared, cataloged them all, put them all in a book. And you know, the build book we've had that for years at 100 builds, I think. Right, Jake?
Yep.
How many builds was it?
We did a few different books. The first one was like 50, and that one was a couple of years ago. And it was even before the community was really even started, so we didn't even have that many builds to show. But we did a small book, and then we had the big build book was I think 100. And then once the community started and it grew, we ended up doing like 260 builds.
Oh yeah,
it was like a little bit over 250.
Right.
And then now this one is almost 300, and soon. We'll combine those and we'll do one like mega book and we'll have over 500 builds.
Bigger build book.
Yeah.
What's the?
Yeah.
There's the big build book and then the bigger build book.
Yeah. We did the build anything book. That's the last one.
Yeah. But I think this is a great way to get kind of the creative juices flowing. See how other people solve problems, hacks, ideas for builds. I mean, you can like flick through them really easy. So there's no better way to kind of download how you might build a structure and how you might solve your problem, build your build, than the build book.
For sure. And we wanted to make sure that it was easy to kind of see the original post as well. Because if you scroll through all these builds and you see one like really specific, that's exactly what you want to do, or there's like a hack or something inside that you want to see more about specifically, you can click the link and you can go see the original Facebook post or YouTube video or whatever it may be from the person that shared it, and then you can ask them questions, which I think will be helpful too for getting some specific answers and things. So that's in the description. Definitely check that out if you're interested. And yeah, we're gonna do our normal Maker Pipe Monday roundup this week. We've got 8 great builds. I'm excited to show them to you. So let's jump in and start checking them out. We got a couple more people in the chat. Dale said, Happy New Year. Happy New Year to you as well, Dale. Thanks for stopping by. First build we have this week is from Compass Custom Creations on Instagram. And you might remember a few weeks ago they did the concrete side table, which is really cool. And they normally do builds for customers, but this one was for a personal build. And they're based out of Kentucky, if you can't tell. I was born in Kentucky, so I like to see the UK Kentucky banner, even though we're not.
He's a fan too.
Yeah, it's tough. We're not doing so well this year, but it's okay. But they did a great build, and this is a treadmill stand that they built. And the top shelf is supposed to hold a laptop, and the shelf down here holds a fan, which is really cool. I'm a fan of this build.
Oh,
yeah, there you go.
Look at this, 2023 fitness goals right here. This is where it all starts with the treadmill platform.
Yeah, for sure. It seems like a great addition. We've had a couple people do this in the past, and if you're running on a treadmill inside and you just stare at the wall, if you don't really listen to music or anything, putting a laptop up here and even if you're walking on it and like are able to do some work, people like to do like walking or like walking treadmills while working and stuff. But put a movie on there. I mean, anything to pass the time while running. So that's a nice addition to have
the
something
fan
like
is
that.
Key too.
Oh yeah.
Because on a treadmill, having that, like if you're outdoors, obviously you got the air moving past you, so the fan makes a big difference.
Definitely. So it's a fantastic build. I think they used all. Dave's making fun of my adjectives this morning.
Fantastic.
Oh, fantastic. Oh, wow, I missed it.
Yeah, you're making puns you don't even know.
I know. It just comes so naturally. But fantastic build. I think it's all T connectors, which is cool. It's got the pipes here that run parallel to the treadmill, and then there's verticals that go up, and then there's some pipes at the top that support the shelf, and then kind of the same thing here, except the T-connector is oriented sideways to send the pipes across, and then the board's attached, I imagine with one-hole straps. But yeah, really nice build. And if you're around the Kentucky area and want some custom builds, Compass Custom Creations does, what's it called? Commissions. They do commissions and different builds and things. So,
Oh, neat.
yeah, definitely check them out. But really appreciate them sharing that build on Instagram. It's really cool.
You know, a lot of people are using this for cycling too, cycling trainers, where you have your bike there, right? And you don't have a treadmill platform, so you got to put your stuff, your phone, and everything on there. So, seen a lot of those.
Nice. That's cool. You just set it up like
over the handlebars.
Oh, okay.
You know, like the platforms over the handlebars. So you usually have, I mean, your drink or your phone or something like that.
Nice. That's cool.
Yeah.
Great build. Thanks so much for sharing. And the next one we've got is from Peter, and this is an interesting one. This is shelves to display some vintage office items, specifically the typewriters. As you can see here, there's a lot of cool stuff on this shelf. The typewriters, of course, but you also got some, some tape holders, lamps, staplers, and just all kinds of cool vintage office items that Peter wanted to display. So he made these shelves, and apparently you can actually split this in half. So like you can see where the wood is, split going down the side, and you can combine this, side by side if you want, or like he has it in the corner, it just goes into the corner. So that was really neat. And the way he built it was basically just running verticals through all of the wood planks. It just drilled a hole using like a 1-inch hole saw. Works well. And the pipe just runs all the way through it. And then interestingly, he's got the flanges upside down. And because the way those are designed, they have kind of a clamp design as two pieces. You can orient them on a pipe pretty much anywhere along a vertical pipe. And that's what he did to be able to support the shelves, which is a really good technique to keep in mind if you're doing shelves. And that's basically how he did every support for each of the shelves.
That's great. This is one of the first that I've seen used like that.
Yeah, I think so.
I think when we were coming up with the flange, that was one of our, wish list items, that the pipe could go through it and it could be used to support a shelf. So it's great to see somebody using it like that.
Yeah, for sure. It's a really good way, I think, with it having the flat top, as flat of a base as it does to provide some extra support there. I think it's a great technique. Patrick says, I remember typing class in grade 9. Nice collection. That's cool.
Kelly and I met in typing class.
Oh, really?
Well, we met in study hall, but we had typing class together. That's where we really got to know each other.
Oh,
we did not have those typewriters, though. The computers.
I guess you were each other's type.
Yep.
Starting the year off great.
Nice.
But yeah, that's cool. I didn't know that. I knew you guys met in school, but I didn't know that it was in typing class.
Typing class was critical.
That's cool. But this is a great build, and I think he shouted out the wood shop that he got this from. Anderson Plywood on Sepulveda Boulevard in Los Angeles. And the guy there rounded the corners and everything. So that's something to keep in mind. You might check with local, wood suppliers to see if they'll do some cutting for you. Actually, that is one thing. If you don't know, you can go to Lowe's and Home Depot, and I don't think they'll do anything fancy like round the corners, but they do actually cut wood for you.
Oh gosh, yeah, you can get basic cuts.
Yeah,
but don't ask them to do any routing or extra
engraving or wood burning or any artisan. But it is a good thing to keep in mind. If you build your pipe structure and you just use the few hand tools that you need, you don't have any power tools or just don't even want to break out the power tools, you can go buy just a board and from them they'll cut it for you and into basic dimensions for shelves and desks, and it's a really great thing to keep in mind.
That is super handy.
Yeah, for sure.
So which one's your favorite?
Which one? Typewriter?
Yeah. Because you guys probably don't know this, but Jake really likes keyboards, computer keyboards, customizing keyboards and making keyboards. So I'm curious to hear your take on which one's your favorite.
Yeah, I think based on the color scheme. I mean, not to dive deep into keyboards, but the sound and the the color and everything
The
goes in.
sound is super important.
The sound and the feel, the typing feel, is what's really important with the custom keyboard. But with this, we're just going based on the looks. I really like this one up here on the top right.
Yeah.
My face is kind of blocking it. I think it's just a unique design. 'Cause even with mechanical keyboards, I've kind of gotten into where I like
That blue is cool.
really unique things.
Mhm.
Yeah, I do like that blue. But like, a keyboard is a keyboard when you look at it, and if it's just like a basic rectangle. So I like looking for the unique stuff. So I think this one has a pretty cool.
The shape is wild.
Yeah.
How it kind of scoops down.
Mm-hmm.
That's interesting. I think I like the ones on the second shelf. That gray one looks pretty cool. It kind of has a subtle
Yeah,
classic feel to it.
I do like that one. It looks like it has some kind of box or something. Like maybe there's a lid that goes to it, so you can maybe this is what a portable keyboard used to be like.
Yeah, I think so. I think they, if you're a reporter, you got to take this thing around, right?
Yeah,
Or a writer.
that's cool.
Yeah, neat to see.
Yeah, for sure. But that's a great build, and I didn't notice this earlier, but I just saw those feet at the bottom. Don't exactly know what those are, but it looks like some kind of iron or some kind of cast foot that is drilled and attached to the bottom there. So that's a pretty unique foot.
Oh,
we
that
haven't
is
seen.
cool.
Let me get a better
Kinda
shot here.
Replicates like a hairpin steel leg.
Right.
Oh, that light is neat too.
Yeah, it is.
I like that.
Yeah, it is cool.
Very cool.
Yeah, for sure. Well, awesome collection, Peter. Thanks so much for sharing it, and it was cool to see your shelf. Next up is a build. This one was kind of hidden. So recently, Joshua asked in the Facebook community if anybody had any issues with rust on the fittings, just wanting to build something, and was asking. And Zach posted this in the comments, said, going on 3 years, no rust yet, which is great to hear. And I was just blown away at how massive of a structure this is, and we've never really seen it before. But apparently this is a Quail pin built by Zach, and it just looks really awesome. It's massive. And you can see here they've basically got a large radius. This has to be like 2 10-foot pipes combined, maybe even 3, because at least the way it looks like it's just really, really wide. But they've got the large radius pipe going over the top, and then they've got basically added ribs to the roof using crossover clamps. And that's a good way to do that, because you're able to keep this one continuous span while still adding support, which is great. And then on the bottom here, this is where they used the Maker Pipe T. They've got, it looks like a pipe secured to this wooden railing with 2-hole straps. And then they've got the T-connector attached to that pipe, and then it goes up and goes around and is secured. And it looks like that same design all the way down. Got some sort of netting over the top. And just a really awesome build.
I thought the floor was interesting because it looks like it's a mesh floor that's elevated from the grass. I don't know if that's to not kill the grass, or you harvest, quail manure from it. I don't know. We are not quail farmers. In fact, this is the first quail enclosure I've ever seen.
Yeah, we're definitely not quailified to speak on such a matter.
Oh my gosh. Oh my Lord.
Oh man, that's the one I thought over on the drive. So on the way over here, I was thinking about a pun.
You had that queued up because that's pretty technical.
Yeah, but you did tee me up pretty well because you said we're not. What'd you say?
I've never seen one before.
I was like, the tee up was perfect because you were like,
I don't even know
what
what
that is. We're not an expert on
Yeah.
these matters or something like that.
Oh,
it was perfect.
Man.
Yeah, thanks.
Walked right into it.
Thanks for the tee up. But great build, Zach, and it's really cool to hear. Going on 3 years with no rust. That's a good thing to keep in mind. Steel pipe or galvanized pipe is galvanized, so it's corrosion resistant, and all of the fittings, both silver and black, are corrosion resistant. So unless they get bumped or scratched pretty heavily, shouldn't have to worry about rust.
Right.
Of course, there's exceptions, but
they're steel, so we do our best to coat them, and they're good quality coatings. But again, like Jake's saying, if it gets nicked or something, you will develop a little bit of surface rust because they're steel underneath, right?
Yeah.
But it's great to see that customers are having them out in the elements for years and years, and they're holding up great. That's what you really want.
For sure. I just thought of something cool. I don't know if we'd be able to do this, but it would be cool. We make all the parts here in America, in our shop in South Carolina. and we use local suppliers for a lot of stuff, including the coatings. And it would be cool if we could maybe get like a tour, not a tour maybe, but we could do a video where we show how each the silver and black parts are coated and like the process of how they get, the bath and everything like that.
Oh yeah, I think that would be really valuable for people
Yeah,
and cool to show.
yeah, for sure.
I've also thought, hey, let's make these out of stainless,
Mm.
and see what happens. Just source some stainless steel, and I think our process would work for that too. If there's any interest for that, I know we've talked to some folks that have done, marine builds, things on boats. That could be something interesting too. So if you would like to see that, let us know.
Yeah, for sure. That'd be cool. All right, great build, Zach. Thanks for posting that in the comments. And yeah, great build. Next up is a build from our good friend Axel. He's actually local to us, and he has a YouTube channel, Axe Maniac, and where he does all kinds of fishing and kayak videos. And recently did a project. He said this is a generic design for a kayak swivel seat frame. And he said this was installed on a bona fide SS127 kayak. I don't know what that means, but if you're in a kayak, you probably do. He even included a parts list, which is cool. But you can see here what he's done is basically, I'm really intrigued by this part here. I'd imagine this is made for the kayak. I mean, obviously, it should be made for the kayak. This black kind of...
like an adjustable seat mount.
Yeah, like it's some kind of seat mount that's made for this type of kayak. And then I think what it is it's a set seat. It's like you can't move it around. And so that's why he wanted to make it a swivel adjustable.
Mm-hmm.
So it's got this mount, one on each side, and the pipe just sits in there nicely. Just 4 T-connectors total, and you can see where he drilled holes through the pipe, and then that's where he added a bolt through and into the seat platform.
Nice.
Yeah, nice and it looks great. And I think that's a good technique to keep in mind, just drilling through the pipe to secure things to it. A lot of times, thinking about like one-hole straps or securing stuff to pipe, but we've seen a few builds recently where drilling through the pipe is the best option. And I think...
Especially with a small diameter,
Mm-hmm.
Obviously the pipe's an inch. If you have a 3/4 inch bit and drill out most of the pipe wall, you're going to severely compromise the strength of it. But, putting just a 1/4 inch hole, 1/8 inch hole to run some hardware through could be a good option without compromising the strength of the pipe entirely.
For sure.
You're going to be sitting on this, so it needs to be that strong, but you could probably get away with it.
Definitely. Especially, too, I think if something like I imagine the seat base probably had these holes pre-drilled in the platform.
Mm-hmm.
So, if you're looking to mount something that already has holes, that's a good option. Because otherwise you'd have to put like a conduit hanger strap or something like that.
Yeah, or go through a connector or something like that.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of ideas there, but no shortage of creative ideas from Axel. Again, if you're into kayaks or just have an interest in that, check him out. He's got an awesome channel with a lot of cool ideas.
Definitely. I think he says he's going to follow this up with another post with a he post a build post the build video when he's finished editing. So that'd be cool. So if you want to see this, definitely check out his channel and subscribe, and you'll see it when it comes out. But thanks, Axel. Another great project. Really appreciate you sharing it. Next build is from Gary, and he sent in a few different builds that he made recently. Actually made these in the summer, but just shared them. And this is, first, we'll look at, he's got these raised garden beds here, and he made these hingeable garden enclosures. And I always love seeing these.
Who did we see these from? It was Leslie out in the desert, right?
I think so.
Was it Leslie, his name?
I think so.
Yeah, we did an interview. He did a great job, and these look great too.
Yeah, I think so. I think maybe Kelly. It might have been Kelly. I'm not sure. But it was out in the desert, did something similar. And if you have a raised garden bed and you have plants that, it's common that people build a 6-foot tall enclosure or trellis if they've got climbing plants. But I imagine, I don't know exactly what plants these are. Strawberry. So strawberries, I don't think grow very tall. So something like this, that's just kind of low to the ground and compact, but still protects it, is a nice way to do garden protection. And we don't really see a close-up of the hinge, but since this is attached, it looks like flush with the board. I would imagine it's probably something simple like, 2-hole straps, or maybe even some of those like PVC gate hinges. I'm not entirely sure. We have a whole video on hinges you can check out on the channel for different ideas. But basically, it's just a square enclosure. Looks like 90-degree connectors to make the square, and then they just attach the enclosure material or the chicken wire, whatever it is, on the outside. And then basically, they can just raise and lower this to access the plants or to cover them up and protect them.
Nice.
Yeah.
Is there a support can you see it when it's standing upright or open? Is there a support that goes down to the ground?
I don't see one. It looks like there's a pipe running from on top of the board there.
You can imagine where you just have an extra pipe coming off,
Mm.
and it would act like legs in the up position. Can you imagine that?
I see, like maybe back here.
Yeah, back there.
Okay.
So it just like when you had it in the up
Mm.
position, it was actually resting on the ground.
Oh, nice.
That would be a slick little thing.
Oh, yeah. I could see too. Maybe if you had like a pipe coming off there, and then you did a pipe going along the ground, you could
Mhm.
use that as the handle to lift it up,
Mm-hmm.
and then maybe pull it towards you.
Well, you
to
probably
open
want
it.
to lift. Yeah, that might be tough with the leverage, but
True.
you could do it on both sides and then have a handle on the other side. But I like this design. It seems like a great solution for something that's low.
Yeah, for sure. It seems like a great idea. We've had a couple of people do something similar in the past. After the live stream, I'll update the description and put a link to that interview Dave was talking about. There's also another NPM. I think it was called like Strawberry Prison ? Because somebody called a build similar to this a Strawberry Prison, which
yeah.
I thought was clever. But you can check those out for more resources. But another build that Gary did was this stand for, I believe it's for growing onions, which is interesting.
Oh, wow.
And basically just built this kind of elevated stand. And I like this technique for holding the soil in place. Basically just draped some of this, it's like
wow. No
gardening
kidding.
vinyl or something,
Yeah.
and just kind of draped it and then let it droop down a little bit, and then use the conduit cover clips. It looks like they have some like metal reinforcement bands on them, which I imagine to hold up all this soil, you probably need some, make sure they're really strong. Basically just drooped over the pipes, and then these clips are all that's really holding it in place. But since they kind of droop down a little bit, just all the soil is inside, and that's where the onions are going to grow. So really great idea for something like that, like an elevated raised bed that you don't have to like put any wood or anything on.
Neat.
Yeah, looks like just a few connectors, just CTs and 90s in the corners, and then some kind of base there. That's a great build. And then the third project he shared was this little sculpture
Whoa.
he made.
What
and
is that?
He said the only reason he made it was just because he had some friends over who wanted to hear about MakerPipe, and so he just built this.
Great.
Just built this little structure to showcase MakerPipe and the different connectors that he had on hand. So thought that was cool that he shared that.
Yeah, thanks for sharing that with your friends.
Yeah, for sure.
Glad
So,
you find it useful.
But great builds and looks awesome. And I almost forgot that this tarp here is from a website called billboardtarps.com, and you can buy old billboard vinyl and like use it for stuff. And I think we saw somebody else recently who did this. And I think this is a great resource to keep in mind if you need, plastic or material like this. I think somebody did used it for their canopy recently for some reason.
Okay. So like if I think I've seen this.
Oh, there it goes.
Where if someone has advertising, they use tarps
Mhm.
now, right? And it's just they throw them away, and this is upcycling.
Right. And this company, billboardtarps.com, is who he referenced. Looks like they have new stuff as well, pond liners. And then I think, where is maybe the clearance items?
You never know.
These
Are they
new.
solid colors?
I think so.
Or are you getting like some sort of advertisement?
Oh, here it is. Reused billboard vinyl. I see a Coca-Cola one there, it looks like.
You never know what you're going to get.
Yeah.
That's kind of wild.
But like $170 for a 20 by 60. I mean, that seems like a good price. Water resistant, UV protected, tear resistant, pipe sleeves. That's good for conduit. So yeah, it seems like a great resource. I'm glad he shared this. Seems like something to keep in mind if you're doing. I think this would work well for a canopy or something. See, I mean, they're using it for storage, but there it is over like a hoop house,
casino and hotel.
We should buy one from this company and do a build.
Yeah, see what we get.
Yeah,
That'd be fun.
yeah, it would be really cool.
What would you want to make out of it?
I don't know. Maybe just like a canopy or something. I don't know. Would be cool though.
That would be fun.
But yeah, keep them in mind if you need a large tarp. It seems like a pretty good. I mean, he just got a black one, and yeah, seems like a cool place to check out for that kind of a thing. But thanks so much, Gary, for sharing those builds. It's great to see.
Nice. Thanks, Gary.
Next up is a build from Jack, and this was shared in the Facebook group. And this was you might recognize, this is the soccer goal frame. Apparently, he bought the soccer goal kit, built it all out, but instead of using it as a soccer goal, he has got it up against the house with a tarp, and he made a private bathroom to protect his chihuahuas from the weather.
Oh, my gosh.
So whenever he takes his chihuahuas out to use the restroom, just to give them a nice little area that's, as you can see, it's raining here. So
Some privacy.
Keep them out of the elements. They get to go in their own little private soccer goal shaped bathroom.
Oh, wow.
Thought that was really cool. We've seen a lot of people repurposing the kits recently, which is awesome to see, because we were kind of hoping that they would kind of do that for people, kind of let you have the connectors on hand with instructions for something, and then you could adapt it. We saw like the plant stand that used to be, or it's technically the desk kit, but it was turned into a plant stand, side table. So it's cool to see people repurpose the kits. But this is the soccer goal. It's just all T connectors. One of the first videos we ever put out on the channel was this soccer goal build a few years ago, or like 2 or 3 years ago. It doesn't matter. But here it is, being used as the Chihuahua shade.
That's great.
Yeah, really awesome, Jack. Thanks so much for sharing this. Really great to see. Next up is Joe's build, and this was a flat top grill that he made.
Hey.
I actually talked to him on the phone. Apparently, he ordered this Blackstone flat top, and it was warped in shipping, so it didn't fit on the stand that they, I think, made it for. And so he asked them, they sent him a replacement, and he said they took care of him, but they just told him to keep this warped one. He could do whatever he wanted to with it, recycle it or whatever. So he called and was asking our opinion on repurposing it into a grill. I did share that I had some concerns with this open flame on the conduit, because conduit, if it gets too hot, releases some pretty bad fumes that can be dangerous. So I did share that with him, and he said that he was going to sand down the pipes completely or just burn it off in a safe manner to be able to use it. So I just wanted to share that, just if anybody had that same concern. But as you can see, it's just a simple stand. I think it's all 1 inch, and basically just goes up and over the fire pit, and then it has some bracing on each side. And it's really just, I think, 2, 4, 6, 8 T connectors. And he just customized the height to fit exactly over top of this fire pit. And then just set the flat top on top, and now he's making some biscuits.
That's great.
Yeah, it's fantastic. I mean, it's cool that he had this and decided to, repurpose it instead of just get rid of it, and is able to use it for camping and stuff. May not even need the new one that they sent, because I think this is a pretty good solution. But looks great, and always nice to have a big. I mean, that's a big cooktop for camping, which is great. So
sure.
Yeah, thanks so much, Joe, for sharing that. Looks awesome.
Yeah, and I mean, I think I did that at camping once. Made a support for a grill with just 3/4 inch galvanized, right? And I thought about the fumes as well.
Yeah,
I wasn't quite sure. We did it. It was great. We're still here to tell the tale, but no deformities yet.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think in this case you could use, like just some of that black iron pipe or some regular steel pipe, as the rails, because it's just what is getting hot that you might want to substitute a non-galvanized or take the galvanized coating off. Although you do have galvanizing on the inside of the conduit as well. People don't necessarily realize that it's galvanized both on the inside of the conduit and on the outside. But it's just something to be aware of, like you said.
Yeah, and I don't even know the exact temperature that you have to worry about it, because I've always heard to stay away from conduit welding because of that. So maybe, under like extreme temperatures is when it happens. Maybe not just an open flame. This is like the very top of an open flame. So it may not be getting hot enough that you have to worry about it in this kind of a build. But it's just something to keep in mind. Yep. So just wanted to share. Well, cool. Thanks, Joe, for sharing that. Looks like it worked out great for the biscuits and camping.
Oh, that looks great.
Yeah, it's really cool. Awesome to see. All right, next build is from Terrence, and he's got a classic truck. And speaking of rust and pipes, he actually did it on purpose to match the aesthetic of this truck. I always love when they
cool.
do
is this
these.
A Suburban?
This is
no.
I think it's a Chevy, but it's like just a classic truck.
Crew cab
Mm-hmm.
dually.
Yeah. And I love it when people do these, like restorations of these trucks, but leave the paint original, and at least it looks original.
That thing is great.
Yeah.
I love that. With the
nice.
cab there,
Mm-hmm.
that cab's like just an aluminum or stainless cab.
Yeah. Really nice. And he just built a simple roof rack out of maker pipe. And it looks like he's similar to kind of what we saw with Jacob's Baja Bug roof rack. He got a mount that fits in the channel of the window, above the window here, and then mounts the pipe. And basically just built a simple rectangular frame using all T connectors with some cross braces. And something I liked about this is usually, it might be building something and have to do a ton of pipes going across to be able to put stuff on top of the rack. But he's really using it to kind of hold these suitcases and cases in between the pipes.
Just sit it right on the roof. Why not?
Yep. And then the bungee goes on the pipe and then just pulls it down and secures it to the roof rack.
What are you going to rub the paint off?
Right. Yeah, right. Yeah, right there. But something that he did was made the pipes rusty. Or these could just be like old iron pipes or something that fit inside, because these are 1-inch connectors.
Okay.
So maybe it could be just, old rusty pipes that he had laying around. Was able to shim them to the connector. It looks like they just fit on there nice. I don't know. But I've never seen conduit that rusty, so I feel like it has to be something done on purpose.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
I don't know the process. I'll have to ask. I think he sent these through a Facebook message, which was cool.
That looks killer.
Yeah, for sure.
Well done.
The longboard, is that a longboard or just I don't know. Skateboard on there, secured as well. And yeah, just really awesome build, and just looks great on the truck. So
I like it.
Yeah, really cool. Thanks so much, Terrence, for sharing that. Really great to see. And I think that is all the builds we have for you this week. Thanks, everybody, for stopping by and joining in. And the builds will be linked down below if you want to check them out in more detail. Really appreciate you hanging out with us, and we hope everybody has a happy new year and a good week.
Sorry about all the puns, everybody. Jake was a little out of control.
Yeah, I don't apologize.
Is your New Year's resolution to do more puns?
Oh, yeah. Always.
Always? Okay.
New year, new puns.
So there's more coming.
Oh, yeah.
They're great.
Kidding. You'll be punished. Punished for the future. And with that, we'll see you in the next video and the live stream. Thanks, everybody.
See you, everybody.
Have a good week.
Bye.